Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Do you know what it means to stand on the edge of the world with nothing behind you but the endless ocean and nothing in front of you but a land full of enemies waiting to destroy you? It was the year 711. A young man, barely in his 30s, stood at the shores of Gibraltar. His army was small, his resources were limited, and behind him only water. Ahead of him, one of the most powerful kingdoms of Europe, the Visigoths of Spain. This man's name was Tariq bin Ziyad. He was not a king, not a prince, not from the royal elite. He was a soldier, a leader born out of faith, vision, and unshakable courage. On that day, as the waves crashed against the rocks, Tariq made a decision that would echo for centuries. He burned his own ships, cutting off every path of retreat. For him and his men, there was no way back, victory or death. That single moment was the beginning of a story that would change the destiny of Europe forever. The story of how a small force of determined warriors conquered a land much larger and stronger. The story of how Spain entered a new golden age of civilization, knowledge, and culture. This is not just story history. This is a story of courage, leadership, and vision. A story that teaches us that greatness is never born in comfort but in struggle. So, my dear friends, sit back because today we are going to relive the legendary journey of Tariq bin Ziyad, the man who opened the gates of Europe and became a symbol of fearless leadership for all time. To understand the man, we must go back to his beginnings. Tariq bin Ziyad was born in North Africa in the region of modern-day Algeria. His exact background remains debated by historians. Some say he was of Berber origin, others say he came from Arab lineage. But one thing is certain, he grew up in a land of warriors, traders, and nomads. North Africa during his youth was a place of change. Powerful empires rose and fell. Tribal life was strong, but so were the ambitions of leaders. And it was here that Tariq was trained in the arts of war, not just swordsmanship, but also tactics, discipline, and leadership. He was tall, strong, and sharp minded, but more than that, he had a vision. He knew that history does not remember those who live quietly, it remembers those who dare to change the world. My dear friends, by the late 7th and early 8th century, North Africa had become a frontier of great battles. The rulers of the region needed strong generals, and Tariq proved himself worthy. His bravery caught the attention of Musa ibn Nasir, the governor of North Africa. Musa was a wise and powerful leader, and he saw something extraordinary in Tariq. He gave him command of troops, and soon Tariq became one of the most trusted generals. But Tariq's true test was yet to come. Across the sea, in the Iberian Peninsula, modern day Spain and Portugal, the Visigoth kingdom was collapsing under corruption, injustice, and internal strife. The people suffered under heavy taxes and cruel rulers. The land was rich, but its leaders were weak. Musa ibn Nasir received word that the opportunity to expand was near, but it would take courage. It would take someone bold enough to cross the sea with limited men and strike at the very heart of Spain. And that man was Tariq bin Ziyad. My dear friend, the year was 711. A small fleet of ships left the coast of North Africa. On board were about 7,000 men, soldiers, cavalry, and commanders. Their leader, Tariq bin Ziyad. The sea was restless, the waves crashed violently, as if warning them to turn back, but Tariq's men kept moving forward. For them, this was not just a military expedition, it was destiny. After days of struggle, the fleet reached the shores of southern Spain. The place where they landed would later be named Jabal Tariq. the mountain of Tariq, known as today as Gibraltar. The men disembarked tired but determined. They knew they were in enemy territory. Before them stretched the green hills and mountains of Spain. Behind them, only the endless sea. When the soldiers reached the land, Tariq made a decision that would forever define his legacy. He ordered the ships to be burned. Imagine the scene, the flames rising high into the night sky, the wooden vessels crackling as they turned into ash. The soldiers watched in shock. Some whispered in fear, "How will we return? What if we lose?" Tariq turned to his men and said, swords that shook their heart. Behind you is the sea, before you is the enemy. There is no escape. By God, you have only victory or death. My dear friend, this was not this operation, this was strategy. Tariq knew that the greatest victories are achieved when there is no way back. His men were no longer just fighters, they were lions ready to give everything. That night, under the stars of Spain, Tariq's army swore to fight till the last breath. My dear friend, not far away, the Visigoth king Roderick gathered his army. His forces were far larger. Some sources say 40,000, others say even 1 lakh men compared to Tariq's 7,000. Difference was overwhelming, but Tariq knew that numbers alone do not decide wars. It is courage, unity, and vision that tip the balance. The two armies met near the Gauntlet River. The battle was fierce. The Visigoths, with their heavy armor and massive cavalry, charged with thunderous force. But Tariq's men were fast, mobile, and disciplined. The clash of steel echoed across the valley. Dust rose into the sky. Every strike, every arrow, every cry of battle became part of history. Tariq himself fought at the front lines. He was not a general hiding in the back. He was a warrior leading by example. His presence gave strength to his men and fear to his enemies. My dear friends, after days of brutal combat, the Visigoth army began to collapse. Their king Roderick was either killed in battle or drowned while trying to flee. The mighty Visigoth kingdom, which had ruled Spain for centuries, was shattered. Victory at Gordes was not just a battle mound, it was the gateway to Spain. Tariq wasted no time. His forces spread across the land, capturing city after city. Cordoba, Granada, Toledo. One by one, they fell. The local people, oppressed for years under Visigoth rulers, often welcomed Tariq's arrival. They found in him a leader who brought order, justice, and stability. Within just a few years, almost the entire peninsula came under Tariq's command. A new chapter of history had begun, a chapter that would last for the nearly 800 years, the era of Al-Andalus, Islamic Spain. And it all started with one man, one decision, and one burning fire at the shore of Gibraltar. My dear listeners, when the dust of battle settled and Spain lay open before him, Tariq bin Ziyad had achieved the impossible. He was not a king, not born into luxury, not even commanding the largest army, yet through courage and vision, he had carved his name into the heart of his history. Tariq's leadership was unlike that of typical rulers. He didn't fight for wealth or titles. He fought for purpose, for destiny, and for the hope of building a better society. His soldiers loved him not out of fear but out of respect. The people of Spain remembered him as a leader who brought justice after centuries of corruption. And his enemies, they remembered him as a man who struck with the force of storm. Tariq bin Ziyad's victory was not just a military conquest, it was the foundation of civilization that would flourish for centuries, a civilization of art, science, knowledge, and culture. Spain under Muslim rule became known as Al-Andalus, and after followed was one of the greatest cultural transformation in history. Cities like Cordoba, Granada, and Sevilla turned into centers of knowledge and beauty, while the rest of Europe struggled in the shadows of the Dark Ages. Al-Undalus lit the world with learning, libraries filled with hundreds of thousands of books. Scholars from different religions, Muslims, Christians, and Jews, worked side by side. They studied mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, architecture, and literature. The streets of Cordoba were paved and lit with lamps when the rest of Europe's cities were still in darkness. Granada's places stood as masterpieces of art and design. Sevilla's markets overflowed with trade from Africa, Asia, and beyond. This was not just the story of conquest, it was the story of how courage can give birth to culture, how war can lead to wisdom, and how the wisdom of one man, Tariq bin Ziyad, opened the door to a golden age. My dear listeners, Tariq's story is not just history to be remembered, it is a mirror for us today. From him, we learn that true leadership requires sacrifice. What requires sacrifice? He burned the ships not because he wanted to destroy, but because he wanted to inspire. He showed that when there is no way back, the only path is forward. We learn that number don't matter when courage is strong. Tariq's 7,000 defeated armies 10 times their size. Victory is not about how many you have, but about how much you believe. We learn that greatness is born from vision. Tariq was not satisfied with being just another general. He wanted to change the map of the world, and he did. And finally, we learn that history remembers those who dare, not those who sit in comfort, not those who live quietly, but those who take risks, who lead, who inspire. My dear listeners, after his victory, Tariq's life took a quieter turn. Some say he was overshadowed by political struggle. Some say he returned to North Africa living a life away from the spotlight. But whether history recorded his last days or not, it doesn't matter because Tariq bin Ziyad had already written his history on the pages of time. The burning ships, the battle cries, the conquest of Spain. These were enough to make him immortal in memory. And so on, the story of Tariq bin Ziyad comes to an end. A man who stood on the shores of Spain with nothing but faith and fire in his heart. A man who burned his own ships so his army would know that retreat was no longer an option. A man who faced giants with a handful of soldiers and changed the map of the world. My dear friend, Tariq bin Ziyad was not just a general, he was a dreamer, a fighter. He was a leader who proved that the impossible can be possible. His footsteps echoed through the mountains of Gibraltar, through the streets of Cordoba, through the palaces of Granada, and even today, centuries later, we still remember him as a symbol of courage and determination. Dear listeners, the story of Tariq bin Nizad is not just about the past. It is about us, you and me today. Each of us faces battles in life. Each of us stands at our own show with challenges before us and fear behind us. And sometimes the only way forward is to burn the ships of doubt, fear, and hesitation. So the next time life pushes you to the edge, remember Tariq. Remember his courage, remember his vision, and tell yourself there is no going back. I was born to fight, born to rise, born to win. Because greatness doesn't belong to the chosen few. It belongs to those who choose to rise. If this story inspired you, then don't let it end here. Share it with someone who needs courage today. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear what lesson you took from Tariq bin Ziyad's life. And if you want more powerful stories of history, courage, and leadership, make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, and join me again for another journey into the legends of the past. Because history is not just about dates and battles, it is about people. People like Tariq bin Ziyad who remind us of what human beings are truly capable of. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and remember the fire that burned the ship still burns within us. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.